Economy Minister Rafizi expressed his confidence that the business community in Malaysia will be receptive to the progressive wage model policy papers that will be presented to the National Economic Action Council on August 7th. The minister said a middle point has been achieved between the government and private sector employers that is a win-win, which is expected to greatly address the issue of slow wage growth in Malaysia. He was speaking at a press conference after officiating the launch of statistics on wages for the first quarter of 2023. Rafizi adds that PWM, with its unique solution, will also quell employers' concerns that an increase in salary would result in higher operating costs. The minister further said he has also urged the government to consider setting aside a special allocation intended for wage increase of private sector employees. Responding to a question on if the PWM will act as a silver bullet to address depressed wage growth in the country in comparison to the minimum wage policy, Rafizi said the minimum wage policy has its limitations. He explains that the minimum wage behaves differently in different economies and that for the Malaysian economy, it had a series of unintended consequences, where the biggest was that it actually dragged down skilled workers' salaries. Rafizi said, therefore, a policy intervention via PWM is important in that it reflects the skill and education level of a worker and will address the weakness of the minimum wage policy. Meanwhile, the median pay gap between men and women has widened based on the Employee Wages Statistics Report for the first quarter released by the Department of Statistics Malaysia. According to Chief Statistician Datuk Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzair, revealed that in March 2023, male formal employees, represented by some 3.58 million male workers, earned a monthly median wage of 2,664 ringgit, while 2.87 million female employees earned a median monthly wage of 2,554 ringgit. Despite disparity, he said wages for both genders grew at 8.1% in the first quarter against the same period last year. There was no comparison data available for the previous year. Uzair explains that the reason behind this comes from the fact that male workers stay in the workforce longer, while women exit workforce at a much faster pace to attend family commitments. However, Uzair says DOSM is trying to get more granular data on this. Berjaya Land has refuted allegations circulating in the press and on social media platforms in regards to the Selangor Maritime Gateway project that were made by caretaker Kedah MB Datuk Sri Muhammad Sanusi Matno. In a statement, B-Land described Sanusi's allegation as false, untrue, unwarranted, unsubstantiated, malicious and mischievous. The company believes that Sanusi's speech was politically motivated, slanderous and designed to put both B-Land and the Selangor state government in a bad light by implying questionable dealings by both parties in relation to the SMG project. B-Land CEO Syed Ali Shaul Hamid said that it is taking immediate action by lodging a police report and pursuing legal measures to protect its rights in this matter. The first accusation Sanusi made was that Menteri Besar Selangor Inc. had sold a 55% stake in its wholly owned subsidiary to B-Land and or its related companies. B-Land said that there is no such purported sale. The group explained that a special purpose vehicle through a JV between MBI subsidiary and Berjaya Hartanah called Landasan Lumayan Berjaya was formed to clean and develop the Klang River. The second accusation was that B-Land and or its related companies were given 600 acres of Selangor state land worth 10 billion for free, which B-Land outright refuted, saying that it had never obtained or was awarded such land. B-Land also rejected the third claim made by Sanusi that the Selangor state had incurred losses of 180 million by entering into a JV with B-Land and or its related companies. Bursa Malaysia has publicly reprimanded Eksons Corp for failing to ensure that the company's fourth quarter FY 2022 report took into account the adjustments stated in the company's announcement dated July 20th, 2022. In a statement, the regulator said Eksons had reported an unaudited loss of 10.2 million in the quarterly report in March 2022 that was announced on May 30th, 2022. However, Eksons had subsequently reported an audited loss of 15.45 million in the the audited financial statements for March 31st, 2022, announced on July 20th, 2022, representing a difference of 5.24 million ringgit. According to the statement, this was mainly due to the admittance of an additional investment sum and the reduction in impairment for inventories held by the company. Bursa Malaysia said Eksons is required to carry out a limited review of the company's quarterly report submissions and is also required to review and assess the adequacy of its financial reporting. The regulator says that while it had not found any of Eksons directors to have caused or permitted the breach, it views it as a serious matter and reminds companies that it is the duty of the directors to maintain appropriate standards of responsibility. Bursa Malaysia also points out that Eksons had previously committed a similar breach in respect of the company's announcement of its report for the financial period ended December 31st, 2014, which was subsequently amended on May 28, 2015. Malaysia will submit a new proposal regarding the Kuala Lumpur-Singapore high-speed rail project to Singapore after initial decision on it is made by the government, according to Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim Bernama reports. He said the new proposal would then be brought forth by Transport Minister Anthony Loke Siew Fook for Singapore's consideration. Prior to this, the media reported that Singapore had yet to receive any new proposal from Malaysia regarding the HSR project. On Thursday, Singapore's acting Transport Minister Chee Hong Tat told Singapore Parliament that the city-state is open to start discussions on a clean slate on the proposed HSR link, Bloomberg reported. To recap, the KL-S'pore HSR, which was agreed upon in 2016, suffered multiple delays because of escalating costs and was eventually scrapped in 2021 after both countries failed to reach an agreement. The on-again, off-again 350-kilometre HSR link would cut travel time between the centres down to about 90 minutes versus more than 4 hours by road transport. The service was previously due to start in 2026. SLP Resources' second quarter net profit fell 61% year-on-year to 3.49 million from 8.86 million a year ago as revenue declined and there was the absence of a gain from the disposal of a parcel of land. Revenue for the quarter declined 20% to 37.63 million due to softening demand from local and regional markets. Despite the weaker numbers, the group paid a second interim dividend of 1.25 cent per share. Similarly, the first half earnings for the flexible plastic packaging products maker more than halved year-on-year to 6.51 million as revenue shrank 16% to 77.89 million ringgit. SLP Resources said it had anticipated earlier this year that both domestic and external demand would remain sluggish under the current global economic environment. Nonetheless, the group said it will remain focused in order to demonstrate its product range differentiations to sustain its market share, continue to strengthen its financial fundamentals to weather the potential impacts arising from the current economic challenges.